Parents kicked me out with just a bag of clothes while my twin brother got to stay because he was going to college. Then years after, my mom called out of nowhere to tell me my dad died and invite me to the funeral. So little backstory. I'm a twin, and when I was born, I hadn't developed my lungs fully, so had to stay in the hospital for quite a while. Due to this, I had a lot of developmental and emotional issues. Dyslexia and anger issues. Now I don't know if this is the reason, but I believe so, that because of these issues, I was treated poorly by my family. Like I was somehow a burden on them. Not to say they were abusive, but the neglect I received was a lot. For an example, on our birthdays, I would ask for something, and my brother would get it instead. One year asked for a boom box, not a big one but a smaller one. They were all the hit in the 80s, instead my brother got it. Christmas came around, asked for a remote controlled car, brother got one. I was told due to funds had to wait till after first of the year. Never happened, so basically got nothing but clothes for Christmas. While my twin got toys. I tried for years to show I was as good as my brother. He was always good at school, while I of course struggled. In 6th grade, I worked hard, to make sure I got good grades, all B's. Which was good for me, and they said, "Oh nice, your brother got all A's." I think it was at this point I realized where I stood. I was just a roommate that they had to take care of, nothing more. So as a kid, I figured that if I can't get attention for positive things, then I'll do whatever, and if I get in trouble at least they would be forced to pay attention to me. Not the brightest idea, but when you are 11 to 12 years old, what do you expect? When I turned 18 shortly after graduating high school, I was met at the door with a bag of clothes. I was told that I had to go, that they did their job and I needed to leave. I asked what about my brother. They stated he was going to be somebody as he was going to college, where I struggled in school, so clearly I was going to be a bum. To tell you the truth, I was ready to go anyways. I already knew how they felt, so this didn't even bother me. I grabbed my bag, my mom tried to hug me, but I ignored it and walked out the door, never looking back. It took a while for me to get on my feet. Nowhere to go, no place to sleep, not a penny to my name. But I had some friends to rely on, at least temporarily. Fast forward a few years and I meet my wife while I was working at a gas station. We just clicked. Few years later we got married. We built a home together, something I never really had growing up. Back in 2005 we had a baby girl and 2 years later a boy. From my perspective my life is perfect. Family, home, a great job in IT. That was until yesterday. I received a phone call from my mom, telling me my dad passed away. And that she and the family would hope that I could make it to the funeral. Mind you, I don't know how she got my number, but probably from my brother, but I was shocked to say the least. I told her I was busy working, which I was. 12-hour shifts are fun, lol, and would let her know later. She started to say something to the affect that they missed me and would like to be a part of my life or something like that, but I hung up. Kinda rude, I know, maybe even osh. But from my perspective I haven't heard a word from these people in 32 years. So why would I give them any more of my time? I told my wife, and although she knows about my family, she thought it would be the right thing to do. Seeing that my mom reached out to tell me, where she could have not told me, that they are family and probably feel bad and want to reconnect. Mind you, my wife has a big family, and they've always treated me like family. So her view of family is different than mine. However, as far as I'm concerned, I already have my family. Those other people are former roommates. That I have no obligation to anyone but those who I care about and who care about me. Wife and kids. I get it, my wife loves me and is thinking of me and how I might regret not going. Just seems like they now know that dad is gone and life is short, so now guilt is creeping in and they don't want to die with that guilt. I mean, do I go at the wife's suggestion and be miserable being around people that I learned to let go of and not care about in order to look like a better person? Or do I stay home and continue to live my life, putting my own family first and ignoring those people? Guess asking those that have gone NC with their family if they let them back in, was it worth it? Or did it backfire in your face and something you would never do again or suggest to others? Additional info, mind you I live in Florida and they probably all still in California. So that would be a long trip and not sure worth it. As far as my twin, we don't talk, not that we hate each other, we just walk different paths in life. I get/send the occasional Christmas card, but that's it. Unless some miracle has happened, my mom is probably still the self-centered person she's always been. She always wanted to been seen as the good person by family and friends. Comments where Op has replied, Comment 1, your mom is not reconnecting out of any kind of desire or care about you. She probably has extended family who she's hidden this from and she doesn't want to deal with questions about why you're not there, and that's probably something your wife doesn't understand about narcissists. It's never about anybody else but themselves. Whatever reason she has for contacting you, It's for her benefit, not yours. Oop, damn, it feels like you know her, lol. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one thinking this. Thanks for commenting. Oop on his mother trying to take credits and doing everything right because of his life. Oop, knowing her the way I did back then, you are probably 1000% right. Most people like her don't change their colors. Is it true that because of them, I learned the hard way? Sure is, but it wasn't the caring way. It was a cruel way to teach me. But I'm not a better person because of them, I'm a better person in spite of them. I worked my ass off to create the family I deserved. And I'll never give credit to anyone but myself. And the wife, lol, comment too, they neglected and emotionally abused you all your life. Do what is best for you. Your wife can't possibly understand. Oop, she doesn't, and think it's hard for people who come from loving homes, families to understand bad ones. But she is coming from a place of love, and for that, I'm grateful to have such a caring wife. Comment 3, usually when someone who ignored you for 32 years contacts you, they want something. Your mother didn't want you, kicked you out the moment she could, and now comes calling? She probably figured out that you are doing well for yourself and wants you to do something for her, or wants access to your kids. Either way, I would block the number. She is not worth it. Oop, NGL, I've had these thoughts, too. If nothing more, to save face in front of others. As far as my kids, they've gone this long without her, so they aren't missing anything. My wife's parents and family, however, are awesome to them, spoil them too much, I think, but that could just be the dad in me. Lol update, okay, first, holy crap, I didn't think my post would get so many comments. I tried my best to respond to as many comments as possible as they came in. But after signing out to cook dinner and spend time with the family, when I came back, there were hundreds of comments. So, although I didn't respond to each one, I did read them all. All 750 plus, even had to read some this morning. Second, thank you everyone for taking the time to read my post and then to take time out of your day to comment, share your story, post some kind words, and even the few that were blunt about what I should do. Third, at the suggestion of so many of you, I sat with my wife, and we went through the comments together so she could get a better understanding of where I was coming from. Although some were a little brutal, she understood and apologized for overstepping. I reassured her that her heart was in the right place and nothing to be sorry for. Fourth, at the suggestion of someone who posted, "Sorry lost your name" in the vast comments, that I contact my brother. I did just that. Update time. Okay, folks, I hope you are ready for this shit show of karma that is about to unfold. Strap in and hold on. So I called my brother to talk to him. I asked him if he had time to talk, and he did. I asked him if he gave my number to his mom, and he mentioned he did. He thought it would be better to hear about our dad's death from mom than from him. I asked him why I would want to hear from someone who kicked me out at 18 and never heard from in 32 years. He was shocked. He told me that mom said that I could stay but I had to pay rent, but I told them I would never pay rent and left on my own. As others said in my op, narcissistic people do and say things to make it about them and make themselves look better. I can't really be surprised at this, to tell you the truth. This is exactly who she was back then and even now. Make me look like the bad apple and her / them as the ones who never do wrong. We had a good talk. Never getting that sibling/twin bond back, but we did agree to try and at least catch up more instead of Christmas cards and birthday messages. Like I said in my op, he's not a bad guy. We just walk different paths. So then I asked him why mom wants to reconnect and why she wants me at the funeral. You guys were right. Turns out that they spent everything they had, their entire lives, trying to live like the Joneses. Now that dad is gone, she has nothing to her name. No savings, just the small amount of SS per month and a small portion of my dad's pension. Living in a small trailer. They heard that I actually became somebody, and she was telling others that she couldn't wait to see me at the funeral. She was hoping I would bring my kids so she could see her grandchildren. She actually told my brother that I would be coming, WTF? And was hoping that we could fix our relationship. I'm guessing so that she could start asking for money. As many of you said she would do. Seeing she's dirt poor now. I informed him, after thinking about it, mostly listening to you guys, that I would not be attending, and at no time did I tell his mom I was coming. I feel bad dad is dead, but I already mourned them years ago. I'm at peace with myself, and his/her deaths are and will be no different than that of a stranger. That I feel it won't be for me if I go. It will be for his mom and making her look good. I'm not interested in doing anything for her. They wrote me off 32 years ago, and I'm in a way better place without her toxicity, narcissism, and lies. I have to give him credit. He wasn't a jerk about it. He understood where I was coming from. I told him, if anyone asks why I'm not there, to tell them the truth or lie. At this point in my life, my immediate family is more important than people who've been absent from my life for 32 years. So don't really care what he tells them. As far as his mom, I'll be staying NC and blocking the number that she called me from. My wife and I both agree that it's best for me and our family. Not only for mental reasons but for financial reasons. I didn't work as hard as I did to get where I'm at to lose it all to her. As some of you suggested, I'm gonna have a small goodbye for my dad on my own time. Again, thanks internet strangers. I never knew so many random people could be so nice and caring. This old guy truly, thanks all of you. Next story, asked my boyfriend to use the oven instead of the microwave for his smelly food, because of my autism, and he gave me the silent treatment and went to bed hungry without eating, and that one small moment made me realize. To me, this issue is absolutely ridiculous. But I'm here to see if I'm the issue. My BF, 28M, and I, 28F, have been having issues, and I'm cognizant that I am part of the issues, but I can't always recognize when exactly, so I genuinely want advice. But please don't be rude about me or my BF. We're people, not monsters. We went to the store earlier and he got one of his favorite frozen meals. I said on the way home, and this is a direct quote, "Hey, can you please use the oven for that when you cook it? It makes everything else we microwave smell like it for months afterwards if you use the microwave. I hate this meal. I cannot stand it. I have autism and the smell and taste are absolutely disgusting. It is my oh no, someone microwaved rotten fish in the break room food." He instantly went silent. When we got home, he put the meal in the freezer and bathed without a word. I asked him if he wanted me to make it for him. He whispered the word no without looking at me. I asked what he wanted to eat. He didn't answer. I said his name twice because I thought he didn't hear me. The third time I knew he did. I asked him what was wrong 4 times and he kept saying nothing. I said, "This is your last chance to tell me what's wrong, otherwise I'm moving on." He said he was upset that I told him how to cook his food and that it didn't taste right from the oven. I completely understand that. Skillet salmon is superior to baked salmon. Air-fried chicken nuggets are better than oven-baked or microwaved chicken nuggets. I told him, "Okay, that's fine, you can use the microwave if it tastes better that way, just wipe the microwave out with a Clorox wipe." He said it didn't matter and his appetite was gone. He walked past me without looking at me, shut the bedroom door, and went to bed hungry. Who else can tell, but the "this is your last chance to tell me what's wrong" is from literal years of him doing this exact thing, refusing to talk about it, and then making it my problem in arguments later on. I'm so tired of the pouting, and now I feel awful. I feel like I can't ask for simple things, otherwise I'm treated like I'm controlling, bitchy, self-centered, and abusive. He has used all of those terms to describe me except abusive, but we all know that the other 3 in tandem often mean abuse is involved. I don't want to be a bad person, especially to him, and I thought this was a reasonable ask and reasonable options for compromise. Please give me some insight. Abe for telling my BF how to cook his food? Comments where Op has replied, Comment 1. NTB. My lord. I similarly have an enjoyed meal that my partner hates the smell of, and when he politely asked I not microwave it, my response was, "Of course, you should have said sooner." Like a reasonable person. But the real problem here is the silent treatment, strop, and lack of well-meaning communication. It sounds like you're already aware of this, but you have much bigger problems than what goes in the microwave. Comment 2. The food is a distraction. The real issue is how he handles feeling upset and pushes it back on you instead of dealing with it. I told him I would rather he tell me he needs a minute if he does actually need one. I know I get upset about stupid stuff, but I can say I need a second to think / calm down / have a freak out so I can then be reasonable. He takes a minute without telling me, whispers like his heart has been shattered, and then yells when I force him to talk. It's infuriating and disappointing and has made me cry more than once. Comment 3. NTB. You made a reasonable request as an adult. He gave you the silent treatment and pouted. If the roles were reversed, or how old either of you are, he's being childish. Possibly manipulative. Microwaved foods like that are disgusting for everyone around, and asking him to clean it up after himself is not an unreasonable request. I'd recommend wiping down again with water after the Clorox, though BC microwaved chemicals aren't great either. I told him even if he microwaves a cup of vinegar water afterwards and lets it sit, that would help too, but the smell of his food makes me gag. Comment 4. How often does this happen? I hope for your sake it's not a regular thing. The refusal to talk? All the time. Comment 5. NTBF. You didn't tell, you asked, you even said please. And you gave valuable context for your ask. A loving partner would want to make you happy and not stink up the kitchen, even if he was unaware of the smell. You even offered him an alternative after he sulked about it, but one that required a little bit of effort from him, and he didn't appreciate it at all. I don't think you did anything wrong, And I would feel annoyed that he is so unwilling to make you, his GF, happy. I presume this man has gone through school or work, surely he is capable of emotionally coping with another person asking him to change his behavior. Although if he's uneducated and unemployed and constantly being arrested, then I think he has bigger problems. Why can he cope with feedback from people who aren't you? Oop, after we had a massive argument about it, he asked me if I could make it for him. At that point I lost my temper and told him that no matter who starts any issue, I'm always the one being asked to repair it by doing something for him and that I hate it and it's not just my job to make repairs. The question of why he can take feedback from others and not me, he can't. I think he has rejection sensitivity disorder from how he was talked to and treated as a child. I really try my best to consider that because I know what that's like and how it feels. I have it too. But when he gets feedback, he calls it criticism and treats it like the person is deliberately tearing apart his character, calling him stupid, and insulting him. He really needs to realize that there are several people in his life who never talk crap behind his back and want what's best for him, but he pulls away when they try to steer him in a different direction than he's going. There are very few people in his life that he can take feedback from without feeling utterly destroyed. Update, I'm cutting a lot of the arguments for character limits. Long story short, we broke up. We had several intense arguments after I posted this, several of which were huge issues in how we wanted to live in the future, kids, house, animals, me working versus staying home for childcare, what we wanted our kids to see between us and what we didn't want them to see, etc. And he dropped the bombshell that for months he had not wanted kids, which he knows I do, desperately. I did tell him that what he did in the previous post was stonewalling and was abusive, like several of you said. I told him he thought about money more than love in a relationship. He agreed with me. I told him that I would rather be broke and happy than rich and miserable. I told him he acted like he hates me. I told him I didn't want to joke back and forth or cuss at one another with the state of our relationship, that I wanted him to be better about communicating and asking for space if that's what he needed, and that I was tired of him acting like any varying opinion of mine was me criticizing him or whatever was going on in his head. Within an hour of me telling him that he had abusive tendencies and having that whole conversation, he was cussing at me, calling me names. He calls me a BTCH, a CNT, Pia, etc. He claimed later that all the name calling and cussing was a joke. I reminded him I said no more jokes or cussing until we were closer again and he got mad. He ruined Valentine's Day by making more jokes at my expense. I'm off the hook because I got you flowers, right? You can only have this cake if you let me film myself smashing it in your face so I can send it to my friends, etc. I knew the second I held my ground that it was over. I texted my parents and asked them to help me get TF out. He's so volatile and angry that sometimes I could literally just ask him what he wants for dinner and he would yell at me as a response. If I talk, he will yell and say it's because he's stressed. He's mad I posted about this. I don't care if he sees this update. I loved him so desperately and I tried my best to make it work. I need to focus on finding my own closure. Hopefully this is my last and only update. Wish me luck in staying away. A habit of 4.5 years is so hard to break. I wanted a life with him so badly I would have done anything for it. But now I have to get myself back. I'm going to therapy to see how I can improve for myself and my next partner. I know I still have work to do too. I'm going to seek out the surgery I need. I'm going to write in pain and crochet and figure out who I am again. Please be proud of me. Please. I need someone to be proud of me. Edit, thank you guys so much for your support and kind words. I have one more carload of stuff and then I can be completely done. Y'all should watch the Netflix movie Lost in Starlight. That's what I want to emulate in my life from now on. Thank you all. You've given me the courage to do what I need to do.